Welcome back to TheChowTimePod. It's your host, Red. I got a video today from the Modern King. We're getting closer to the 100K. I don't think I'll hit it this month, but it's okay. The next goal will be hitting it by the end of January, so I still appreciate you guys. So please like, comment, subscribe down below, and let's get to that chow. It's chow time. You guys seem to really enjoy these court ones. I'm trying to do a little bit more of them.
How am I? I live on $1,000 a month. So paying $300, what am I looking at there? I've been on disability now for a few years, and I live on, minimal funds, obviously, because they don't pay very much. So I just feel like, John has taken every advantage that he can of me in the past and still does. So I'm unaware about any, yeah, I think so. But there was the child support was completely stricken.
I don't see that order of 2012 was ever stricken, so it's still in effect.
Right off the bat, why you always lying?
All I know is that there was never any child support.
Is there an order that says that child support was waived? This is a motion for contempt brought by Ms. Wanzer related to medical expenses in Florida and also
Again, so we had one comment in the last video of this that she was defending that I was being super facetious and inappropriate about, like, when I was saying, oh, you're a liar, stop lying, and all these things. I can't believe that women come on here to my channel. She's like, oh, I'm unsubscribing because just the way you acted. I'm like, who cares if you're unsubscribed? If you're going to unsubscribe, just unsubscribe. Why do you have to even say anything when you're unsubscribing? One. And then two, the videos I cover, and when I talk about women, I'm talking about these particular women. I'm not talking about all women in general. It's always the women that when we cover these types of stories that hit dog hollers, right? Because we're talking about, oh, why do these women lie in court? Why are they always doing these and that? It's probably because she probably did that, right? And she's trying to defend herself from all of these allegations that we seem to put on the videos, but it's quite obvious what's going on in the videos.
Expenses related to travel for graduation of Hope. State your reasons why you think contempt is appropriate.
Sure, Your Honor. Just that they moved to Florida, and that John had made some pretty big promises to Hope to get her to move to Florida with him. She did not really want to go. He is, assured the Ann Height that, he would pay for her round trips to come home for vacations, which did not happen, and was found in contempt for March when she came home because he did not pay. And moving forward, going to graduation, I had asked that, Hope, pick us up, as she had a broken car. And so I said, well, can you have your dad?
Funds are related to medical expenses in Florida and also expenses related to travel for graduation of Hope.
I have the money to rent cars. He made it nothing but harder for me to come. I'm on a very limited income. I'm on permanent disability. And he had stated that he would help me any way possible in accommodating me to come to Florida.
What? You're not the child. Why did he have to promise you to accommodate you to get to Florida? You have your own means. He's not your husband anymore.
If I come to see her round trip. So that was that one. And I only put in for 50% of what I paid. I just thought that was fair. And also,
Could I ask you a question?
So for you to travel and do things, your ex-husband has to pay 50% of it. Is that what's going on?
And on that, Ms. Wanzer,
sure.
Related to your travel expenses to Florida, is there a court order that requires Mr. Miranda to pay for a rental car for travel expenses?
No.
It was just stated that it was kind of a open statement there that he would just help me with accommodations when I came, if I were to come round trip.
Okay. All right. Thanks. And then why don't you tell me about the medical expenses?
The medical expenses, she's on his insurance, and she got very sick a week before graduation and had to go to the ER. Also, she had, told her dad that she was sick, and he was just like, whatever. Anyways.
You hear that? It's just the way they make men seem. She told her dad he was sick. She was sick, and the dad was just, whatever. I don't care about my daughter.
I just kind of feel like she was still in school, that he should be taking care of her.
Notice how she worded her story,
Should.
claiming their child never wanted to go to Florida and that her dad was deliberately ignoring the health of their daughter. This was very intentional and meant to portray the husband in a controlling and neglective point of view, despite that not being the case in reality.
So thank you, Ms. Wanzer. Hope turned 18 on April 4th
Yes.
in the hospital.
So she's not under any mandates anymore because she's 18 and a full-grown adult.
Hospitalization was middle of May, I believe, the 15th.
Middle of May. And she was still in high school. Yes.
Okay.
So she's 18. A month afterwards, she got into some trouble, but you still expect this man to take care of everything. I'm not saying he shouldn't. I mean, it's still his daughter, and but.
And the temporary child support order, I saw that the child support order related to uninsured medical expenses was dated December 14th of 2012. So that's the document that I'm looking at.
And shout out to the man. Hasn't said a word, just been looking at the camera, looking at his documents or whatever he's looking at, That's where you have to be, guys. You guys gotta be stoic, let them lie through their teeth, and just hopefully you can just prove everything.
Is that the same document you're looking at that relates to uninsured medical expenses?
I'm unaware about any, yeah, I think so, but there was the child support was completely stricken.
I don't see that order of 2012 was ever stricken, so it's still in effect.
All I know is that there was never any child support. John had waived it. We had decided together that we had waived it. Also, and
is there an order that says that child support was waived?
No, we did it privately.
Okay. All right.
With support enforcement.
What other information do you want to share about your motions for contempt?
Well, just that, that he has stated in the previous court hearing that we had in contempt, that he had made statements that he was didn't pay for Hope's plane ticket because he was providing her with a ticket to come home for the summer for an extended stay, which he hasn't. In fact, I just purchased her a ticket to come home next week.
Is that part of your motion for contempt? I didn't see that.
No, I'm just saying it shows to character.
I just add a little extra
just
shit.
How I can't count
so I can make him look bad.
His word, even in paper.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Ms. Wanzer. Mr. Anda, what's your perspective on the two issues? Or I guess the one issue on the medical expenses, because I think the travel graduation expenses, there's no order that requires that. So I'm denying that motion for the contempt of that portion. So
trying to get your ex-husband to pay for your travel expenses. Come on.
So the focus is on the medical expenses at this point.
Yes, sir. So I provide insurance. I will continue to provide health insurance for Hope, my daughter, as long as I can keep her covered. But I had told her previously to schedule a doctor's appointment when she had first told me that she was having some pains. I was not like, whatever. I told her to go see our family doctor and schedule an appointment. Hope is a procrastinator and didn't do that immediately. So a day or two after she had scheduled an appointment after talking with her mom, she never made it to that appointment because she went to the emergency room that evening. I kind of had a conversation with Hope after returning from the emergency room, just letting her know that, the costs are going to be exorbitant because you went to the emergency room. Everything is, it seems like almost double. And I said, if you'd have gone to the doctor's appointment, something may have been able to be done at the doctor's, which would have been relatively cheaper, and the insurance would have covered a good majority of it.
True.
Granted, the insurance covered almost more than 90% of the emergency room, so that was great. I didn't think that it was out of question to help my daughter understand that the process of going to the emergency room, that a bill comes along with that. I asked her to contact the hospital, let them know the situation that she is in, that she just turned 18. She's still, just about to graduate from high school, in the hopes that maybe they would either waive this or move it to, to a minimal payback. That was my ultimate hope for it, Your Honor. And in asking,
Like, so this man was on camera the whole time while she was talking. This woman can't even be seen on camera the whole time this gentleman is talking.
hope to take charge of that. It was, she would like to be treated as an adult, and with the treatment of asking to be treated like an adult,
There's
comes this
responsibility of an
responsibility. So
adult.
I asked her to take care of it. Next thing I know, I'm being served with papers as far as the contempt hearing here.
So as we can see, he is a normal guy and a good father, not the controlling or neglecting man she claimed he was. I also find it concerning how the mom tried to use their daughter, getting sick as excuse to serve the father papers.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, thank you. Let me ask you, if I may. So
I don't even understand why you need to serve the father papers anymore. Like the child support and everything is about to end because she's 18. Why are you still trying to harm this man?
the temporary child support order of December 2012 indicates that there's a division of responsibility for uninsured medical expenses, a 31-69 split. My question, I guess, is that as the person providing the insurance to the insured, Hope, if there's a remaining balance, the obliger or the party responsible for that is the policyholder, is it not?
I would say that ultimately, yes, they would come after me if Hope didn't pay it. Yes.
Right. Yeah. If Hope decides not to pay it, then they're
Right.
going to come after you for payment.
That is correct.
So, and this just happened in May, and
The judge is just like, man.
now we're just barely into August. Okay. Okay. All right. That's helpful. Let me just look at one item here.
Your Honor, when you have a second, I have one more question for you.
I'm ready. Go ahead.
I was just wondering, now that Hope is 18, has graduated high school, and she is working, when is she actually considered an adult, and where does our parenting agreement kind of end when she is considered an adult?
So there's a parenting plan that was issued on September 30th of 2022. And then when a person turns 18, the parenting plan is done because she's a person of the age of.
So he has nothing to do with Hope anymore. Not saying that he's gonna be like that, but like his parenting obligations through the court has been done.
Majority at this point. So he's no longer a minor.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Ms. Wanzer, do you have any just brief response?
Not really, Your Honor, just that, I've been on disability now for a few years, and I live on, minimal funds, obviously, because they don't pay very much. So I just feel like, John has taken every advantage that he can of me in the past and still does. So that's just, that's pretty much it.
So because she feels as if he has taken advantage of her, she thinks it is okay to literally take advantage of their daughter getting sick to serve the father papers and be dishonest about what actually happened.
Okay. All right. Thank you. All right. So there were two grounds which Ms. Wanzer brought a motion for contempt. The first was the travel expenses to Florida. So any order or any motion for contempt necessarily needs to be based on a court order. And then the allegation needs to be that a person violated or did not follow that court order. So as I mentioned earlier, there was no court order that required Mr. Miranda to make any expenditures related to travel for the graduation trip or what have you. So I'll deny that portion of the contempt. The other portion is that the medical expenses for the emergency room visit. It sounds like she wasn't doing well for a period of time. There was encouragement to take a different action. She got the help that she needed, whether it was timely or maybe a little later than hoped for. And then there's about a $1,100 bill that's outstanding. So the child support and health insurance is a little bit different in that health insurance generally parents can keep their children on their coverage up until about age 25 is is pretty common across the country. And here we have Mr. Miranda's indicating that, he's the obliger, he's the contracting party with the insurance company. So eventually they would come after him for the balance. But here there is an existing temporary child support order. It's temporary and it's old, but it's from 2012. It requires Ms. Wanzer to pay child support, but we're not here.
Ooh, Miss Wanzer, 12 years. Oh, 2000. No, it is 12 years. Actually, it's 12 years that you didn't pay the child support. Are we gonna get some back order now?
Here on that issue. We're here on that says that if there's uninsured medical expenses, then there's a split of 31% and 69%. So there's no clear indication that the child support obligation ends at age 18, because it's often common that children will turn 18 and still be involved in educational pursuits at the secondary level, high school. So here, I think that obligation continues. So both parties are responsible for the $1,049.89 in a calculus of 31% of Ms. Wanzer and 69% of Mr. Miranda. So that's what the parties are obligated to pay the hospital. As far as the contempt, I think there needs to be a willful and bad faith refusal to comply with the court order. So here, the court order is over 11, well, almost 11 years old. There was in a relatively short period of time from the provision of services until the contempt was filed. There was some question related to age of majority and the like. So I'm going to deny the contempt, but just make clear that the parties are responsible in that percentage division for payment to the hospital for the services rendered to Hope. So I'm denying both motions for contempt. However, both parties kind of have a clear idea of what the responsibility is under the child support order from 2012, that 31% to Ms. Wanzer and 69% to Mr. Miranda.
My judge. It's funny because you can see the bias somewhat in the last judge, but this judge seemed very cutthroat, dry, like facts-based oriented, because there wasn't a lawyer involved in this one. But yeah, why do women lie? Because they get shit out of it. They either get revenge, they get money, they get clout, they get something. And women love to lie because they usually don't get any consequences from it. Please like, comment, subscribe down below. I really appreciate that. And I'll catch you guys next time. Ciao.